Ahoy, everyone. This is David Eugene Perry reading live from my critically acclaimed new novel, Upon This Rock. And it's the first of a series of readings we're going to do because today is December 17th, 2020. But in the world of my novel, Upon This Rock, it is December 17th, 2013, the beginning of part 2. So I'm going to read a little bit to you right now. Chapter 37, Excavation. Tuesday, December 17th, 2013, Orvieto. By the end of their second week in Orvieto, Adriano and Lee had become locals, or at least liked to think that they had, especially Lee. They awoke to the bells of the Tower of the Moor, and merchants called out their names when they entered markets. La Donna Volsini's cat followed them everywhere. The pert young blonde owner of what passed for the local gym had shown Adriano where she hid the key so he could let himself in. Lee, who thought the idea of paid exercise on sabbatical was defeating the purpose, eschewed such machinations for morning walks along the cliffs between Il Duomo and San Giovanni. Again and again, he walked to the edge of the cliff where Andrea had stood just over a year ago, twins separated by geography but united in spirit. Lee's nightstand had become a groaning board of press clippings about the deacon's suicide, Bishop San Carlo's forced resignation, and the subsequent exile of Reverend Vicky. Adriano said nothing, but quietly did his own online research, admitting to himself, if not to his husband, a growing fascination with the subject Lee pretended not to notice. After the respective morning meanderings, they met up at Cafe Volsini, usually Lee arriving first, for coffee and a different Dulcini every day. Lee was determined to sample every one of the delectable bites that spread toward infinity in the glass and marble display case. On their third visit, the cafe's sturdily built doyenne had approached a two-day-old copy of the International Herald Tribune, folded to the crossword, a pen carefully clipped to the edge. "Here," she said, "for you." Grazie, Lee offered with surprise as she turned away. Adriano sipped his cappuccino and smiled. "She likes you," he whispered. Undoubtedly better than the alternative, Lee had thought, watching the elderly owner return to her perch behind the cash register. The photo of Deacon Andrea was still there, but its wax candle sentinel had been replaced with one of the ubiquitous battery-powered Padre Pio flame lights, like the one in front of Brian's ashes. That had been 4 days ago. Now, by the time Lee's hand triggered the tiny bell on the cafe's front door, he could already spy at what he now considered to be his spot, the intellectual stimulation of an aging but virginal acrostic and a powdered, sugar-dosed plate bearing pistachio cream cannoli. There was that Godfather music again playing in Lee's head. "Buongiorno," Lee called out with the tip of his Starfleet Academy baseball hat to tinkling accompaniment, squeezing past the bundled-up local postman, likewise touching the brim of his hat as he headed out on his morning rounds. It was an especially cold day today, 1 week until Christmas. So that's a little bit of my novel, and that takes place on this exact day. So wishing you a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, tonight, the last night of Hanukkah, a happy Hanukkah, and wishing us all a peaceful New Year. Ahoy.
So now, does it give you an option to save it, or